and welcome to my garden. Today I'm going to wander around and take stock of what is here and what is growing well and what needs taken out, and so I can do a general tidy up because it's all looking a little bit dishevelled here, and there are still some things that are growing which I'm really happy with, and there are some things that I'm a bit unsure as to whether they've run their course or not. So let's go for a wander and I'll show you what's occurring. So if we start at the squash arch, there are still a couple of butternuts that haven't quite matured yet. But every time I look out of my kitchen window, I'm looking at this and all I can see is this sort of dead, scraggly, overgrown plant. So with this I'm going to locate the the vine that is carrying the fruit, and then all the other bits I'm going to take off. And similarly around here there's a butternut on the floor down here, so again there's no point in keeping like this end bit on, so I'll just take that off to there and see, hopefully that will continue to ripen. I've got some bottle gourds here that I need to put some polythene bags around, or some plastic bags, and that will encourage them to ripen, and it'll act as like a little mini greenhouse to bring the ripening on. My borlotti beans, these are the only beans I've had any luck with this year, and I am just leaving them really to dry out a bit longer, and we'll then see how many pods we've got. I can see a few forming now, which is really good because all summer there's been hardly anything, so at least we'll have some borlotti beans, which will be good. I'll come round to the other side of this bed. My cobra beans, they did end up growing some beans on them, but we haven't had any French beans from here, and I've just let them grow now so I can take them for seeds. And similarly I've got this 100-weight pumpkin, which I think is probably ready to come off, and then I can take that plant out as well. And I'm in a bit of a dilemma about my tomatoes. These are the ones I grew from side shoots, which I won't be doing again because although they've grown, it's a bit late in the season, and I'm not sure if that's blight or if that's just how the tomato is, but it's not looking desirable to eat. So they've ripened late, and I don't think I'll take plants from side shoots again. I'll just grow more plants at the start of the season so they can mature in time. And then if I come round to the brassica bed, these have just been infested with caterpillars. I did have netting on, but it wasn't the right kind of netting, and as a result I've got loads of cabbages with leaves looking like doilies, and I'm not really sure. I mean, there's a couple of good ones here, but I'm not really sure how well these will hearten up. But I can still take the leaves and use them in stir fries, or cook them with some bacon as a side dish, or saute them in stir fries, or I can still make use of them. And the broccoli, I've got a few. I've taken a couple of the heads. They didn't grow very big, but I have now got these side ones coming off, so I need to harvest them as well. There's a broccoli head I haven't taken yet because it hasn't got very big, but that might be as big as it's gonna get. And my Swedes, I need to take away these sort of yellowish leaves at the bottom. That will help the situation. There is a Swede form in there, but I planted them out late as I had germination problems, and this is a goodish size one showing there, but I don't expect much from the Swedes really. And there's another broccoli heart there, which isn't too bad a size. But if I come down here, this is what I'm really excited about, because even though these have been just decimated by caterpillars, I mean, you know, I've had really bad caterpillars this year, I have got cauliflower hearts, which, and that one isn't looking too bad. I'm sure there's a heart under there somewhere, and it's just where the outside leaves have been eaten, they can't sort of form around it to protect it from the sunlight, so it might go a bit yellowy, but we'll still eat them. And I think these are F1 Amsterdam. I know they're an F1 variety because it's the first time I've grown an F1, and I don't think it's going to be the last, because even though they've had all this caterpillar attack, they have still formed a curd, which my other cauliflowers in the past have really struggled to do. So that is the cabbage with a heart at the moment, and there's some there, and well, that's not looking very good, is it? But there we are, it is what it is, and I didn't use the right netting on them. I used bird netting instead of butterfly netting, and I think next year I'm going to use chemical spray on them, which it won't do any harm to the cabbages, and it won't hurt the cabbage whites. It just will mean that they don't lay the caterpillars on there, because they won't like the taste of the leaves. So that is what I'm going to do next year. Well, let's have a look at other things I need to sort out. This is my celeriac bed, which I'm rather pleased with, because although the celeriacs, they're not a huge size at the moment, they do put on an awful lot of growth between September and November. Every year I've grown them for the last 3 years. I've always got to this point and have been like, oh, we're going to have some smallish celeriac this year. And then they've swelled surprisingly. So I'm very pleased that I did go ahead and plant celeriac this year. I've got some peas that have gone over along here in this bed, and I think I'm going to take down this framework now, because it's sort of collapsed a bit at that corner, and I don't think there's any cabbage whites around now to get into the purple sprout and broccoli and the sprouts, and I think I just need to be able to get in there and tidy it all up, because there's some lettuce there that I didn't get to that is now bolted, and it's all looking a bit of a mess. And the brassicas need the bottom leaves taken off that have gone a bit yellow, because that doesn't do the plant any good either. This is the carrot bed with the two parsnip beds down there. I don't know if you can hear my children in the background, but we're all having to self-isolate at the moment. So there's not an awful lot of gardening going on, because I need to do some fairly big jobs, and we also need to do some home learning and whatnot. So anyway, let's get back to these carrots. I'm very pleased these carrots are growing, because they were planted fairly late, but I am holding out some hope that they should hopefully grow a bit more, and we can start harvest them around November, December time, and through to the winter. I never got around to sorting this one out, and I'm going to get rid of these crates anyway, because they would have looked great at an allotment, but in the back garden they just don't seem to fit very well with the rest of the look of the back garden. And my parsnips, let's see if anything has grown because there's lots of foliage. Right. Oh. So there is parsnip under there. So after all the trouble I had with the parsnips, we will have at least one parsnip this year. I wanted to show you this bed because I think it was the last vlog I did was me planting out the garlic, and the Marco garlic has already popped through. So that is really encouraging. I'm very pleased with that. I've come around to the front now. I just wanted to show you my asparagus bed because very soon I will probably cut all this fern foliage back, and considering these were planted this year, which I transplanted from my allotment, I'm really pleased with how they've grown. Each one has got about 3 or 4 stems coming up from it, which should mean next year there'll be double that amount, and hopefully I'll be able to take some croppings from there come the spring. Here I've got some more cabbages that again I interplanted with lettuce. Never got around to cropping the lettuce, which need to come out. And again, these have had some cabbage damage to them because I didn't tie that down enough. So it'll be interesting to see how these hearten up as well. Oh, I don't know whether to just cut my losses and remove everything from this bed. We'll see, we'll see. And just to show you my shallots, which featured in the last vlog, most of them are now sprouting, so I'm very pleased with that. It's just that one at the end that doesn't have any green on it. And my poor kale is just being decimated by caterpillars. I've stripped, there they are, look, the little blighters. Right, you can come off there anyway. I'm finding these like every day I'm taking these off, and they keep coming back. So these might go to the chickens. I was merciful last time, but I don't know if I will be this time. This one, you can see the inner leaves are growing back, so hopefully those 2 scraggly ones right at the back will still come good. These ones are not too bad, but normally there's so much more foliage on them, and I've just had to strip them all off. And it's really annoying because in other years, if my cabbage doesn't work, and my sprouts don't work, and my purple sprouted broccoli doesn't work, I've always got my kale to fall back on because that always seems to grow no matter what. But not this year, it seems. But that, again, that's because the caterpillars have got on there. So I think in the future I will be using some spray on them to ward them off. And I thought before I go in and make lunch and then crack on, hopefully the rain will not be here after lunch, I can get on with some of the jobs, and I'll show you how it's looking after I've done the jobs I've been talking about. But I thought I'd give you a brief glimpse of our chickens because they don't appear very often, and they're quite important to us. So here they are. We recently bought them a new silo for water and a new one for their food over there, so they have to actually stand on that platform, which then opens up their food. So it just means that rats can't eat them. But this little one, bless her, she's been really broody for the last, I don't know, 4 months or so. And everything we tried, we couldn't stop her from being broody, and now she's started to molt, so she's looking a bit worse for wear. And I'm not quite sure if she can work out that she needs to stand on here to access the food. So she stands on there. Well, my foot is on there now. And then right at the back. It's not very good here, but you can see the food opens up. So if I close there, and then they stand on it and open the food. You're gonna come and stand on here? Or is it because I'm standing here? I've not got any worms for you yet. You have them as your afternoon snack, don't you? I'll just leave that brick on there for the time being, just so I can definitely know that the scraggly little chicken over there can actually get in and have some food. I have just realised that this vlog is running a bit long now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the jobs in my next vlog, which I'm going to do right now really. But if you join me next time, then I can show you how the plot is looking after I've tidied it up, and what I've harvested and what I decided to do with the tomatoes and squashes and all that sort of jazz. So if you join me next time, that would be great. All I can say about my sort of plot tour in the end, I suppose, was all my jobs to be done around the garden is lovely job. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.